Good morning, everyone. Question for the day is, can you make tiramisu or a play on tiramisu with just these three ingredients? I don't know. We'll have to find out. I have here organic honey graham crackers. I know that the usual way of making tiramisu is using lady fingers, but I couldn't find I don't know how to say, like a cleaner version of lady fingers. They all had some kind of ingredients that I wasn't fond of, so this would be a good alternative. I like using graham crackers because they are honey flavored versus the regular lady fingers that are pretty plain. Also, we have here organic coffee, which can be brewed instantly in a cup with just hot water. And making it dairy free, we have here coconut cream. So let's see how this plays out. Let's put it all together and layer it out. We begin by brewing our coffee. Okay, we'll let it sit for 10 minutes. Today we're using Thrive Market's bag of coffee. You can use instant coffee, or you can make a cup using your favorite coffee machine. Okay, for step 2, open up the can of coconut cream, put it in a bowl. I'm gonna flavor it a little bit. I have this interesting organic date syrup, or you can use honey. This is somewhat optional because our graham crackers are a little sweet, but I think I wanna have that addition in here. Okay, we're gonna whip that up with our frother. All right, this looks nice and creamy, kind of chocolatey even in color, even though it's not chocolate. We're gonna go ahead and pour our coffee in a flatter container for easy dipping. Okay, open up our graham crackers and begin layering. Okay, so we're gonna dip our graham crackers in the coffee. Lightly pick it up before it starts breaking and transfer it. We're just gonna work quickly. Dip, dip, pick up, and transfer. Don't worry if it's not perfect, it doesn't have to be. It's all gonna get soaked up anyway, so don't worry about it. Okay, I'm gonna continue doing this and then I'll show you when I layer the cream. Okay, first layer is complete. We're gonna put our cream over. Okay, keep layering. Continue the process. Okay, second layer complete. We're gonna keep going. Moving on to layer number 3. This is how we're looking. You're gonna stop either when you get to the top of the dish or when your ingredients are over. For now, I still have graham crackers left. I have some mixture left and a little bit of coffee. And we're about a little bit less than a half. So let's keep going. Okay, my coffee is completely out. This is the remainder of my cream. I have a few graham crackers left. We'll save them for snacking. Okay, gonna layer this out and then show you the final step. All right, so the final step is your cocoa powder. You always see how tiramisus are garnished or layered with cocoa powder on the very top. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna use my sieve that I use for my juices. Okay, sprinkle the cocoa powder evenly. Wow. Okay, after we're done, into the fridge it will go. Ooh la la, it is ready. I already took a piece out. And this is how it looks. Yum. Okay guys, banana bread time. So keeping it gluten-free here again, we have almond flour, baking powder, salt, olive oil, maple syrup, cinnamon, eggs, bananas, of course. We're gonna begin with putting 2 cups of almond flour. Everything will be mixed in one bowl, so the order at which you put the ingredients in really doesn't matter. We have our flour in. We're gonna mash our bananas. We need about 1.5 cups of mashed bananas. It's about 3 to 4, depending on the size of the bananas. Try to use the riper bananas because they're gonna be sweeter and softer. So let's get mashing. Okay, I mashed up my 3 bananas. I'm gonna try to put it in a cup measure. If that works out according to what we need, good. If not, we'll mash the 4th one. Okay, so just as expected, this filled 1 cup. We need 1.5. I'm gonna mash the final and last banana. Okay, bananas in. Egg, 1. Egg, 2. Egg, 3. 1/3 cup of maple syrup. 1 tablespoon oil. 1 teaspoon cinnamon. 2 teaspoons baking powder, 1 and 2. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Mix everything together to combine. Okay, everything is incorporated, mixed well. We're gonna take the pan, we're gonna grease it, and then put the parchment paper on top, and it's gonna stick and not come out. Then we're gonna pour the batter inside, put it in the oven at 350 for about 50 minutes. Looking delicious, looks about ready. Probably gonna leave it in for another minute or so. Turn it off, let it cool, and I'll slice it to show you how it came out in the middle. Oh, this looks so good. I'm so excited. I also got this recipe off of YouTube from Detoxinista. That's the username. I found it really creative. I'm really happy when recipes do work. Let's slice it and see. Hopefully the inside looks as good as the outside. Okay, yes, it works. Well cooked, soft, crispy on top. Delish. Served with chocolate chips and some pecans. Good evening, guys. So yesterday we made our almond flour banana bread and it was so good. Everybody loved it. So today we are attempting a chocolate cake or maybe a brownie, whatever it turns out. So I tried to imitate the recipe, and we're gonna go for coconut oil, brown sugar, almond flour, cocoa powder, baking powder, and salt. And lastly, some eggs. So we have 3 eggs in here. We're gonna put in, okay, well, I'm gonna have my helper helping me. We're gonna put in the 1 cup of almond flour. And then we're gonna add another cup to that. Okay, go ahead, go ahead. Good job. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna add another cup. So basically 3 eggs, 2 cups of almond flour. All right, 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. Good job. Okay, we're gonna do 1/4 cup of salt. Good. Okay, we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of baking powder. We have 1 here. Good. Do another one. Okay, 2nd teaspoon. Good. 1/3 cup of brown sugar. Good. And 1/4 cup of melted coconut oil. Okay, we're gonna mix it all together and hope that it combines into a batter. Okay, my batter is a little rich and dense, so I'm gonna add a little bit almond milk to dilute. Okay, this is absolutely perfect. It smells amazing. I wish I can capture the smell and put it in a bottle. Okay, we're gonna bake it up, 350. I don't know if it's gonna bake for 50 minutes like it did yesterday for the banana bread, but we'll see. Guys, we almost forgot pecans and chocolate chips. Awesome addition. Go for it. Whole pecans. Okay, chocolate chips. Go for it. Good. Okay, and again, just like yesterday, grease the pan, then put the parchment paper so it's not moving. Put the batter in, flatten it out, and in the oven is gonna go. Our brownie cake is complete. It looks delicious. I'm gonna slice through it now. Okay, slicing through. Let's make a pizza cake. Okay. Ooh la la. Okay. Heaven right there. Nice. Welcome back to part 2 of our Is Baby Food Only for Babies video. So we spoke in part 1 that it's not only for babies. I'm gonna start calling it just pureed foods for now. I was looking through different recipes, and since we have carrot puree and zucchini puree to work with, I was going to make 2 separate baked goods, such as carrot cake and zucchini bread. But then I stumbled upon a recipe that had both of those ingredients in them, so we're just gonna make 1 carrot zucchini loaf. So here we have some flours that I combined. I'm tweaking the recipe to make it my own. The recipe called for 3.5 cups of regular flour. Sometimes I do use regular organic white flour, but for this video I decided to keep it gluten-free. So what I did was I used 2 cups of the almond flour from Thrive Market. I used 1 cup of the paleo baking flour. This already has almond flour in it, among arrowroot starch, organic coconut flour, and tapioca flour. So we have those so to say sticking ingredients. And I also so I used 1 cup of that, and I decided to use 1/2 cup of 1-to-1 baking flour, also in order for all this to come together, because this does have the rice flours and the xanthan gum, and so I figured this would be a good mix for this. So 2 cups almond flour, 1 cup paleo baking flour, 1/2 cup of 1-to-1 baking flour is what we have in here. For this part, the proportions are coming exactly from the recipe. We have 1 tablespoon of baking powder. We have 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/2 a teaspoon of salt. We are combining these together. So now we have a separate bowl. We have 2 eggs, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, I use this one, the organic brown sugar. You can also substitute with monk fruit sweetener or coconut sugar, just not to use the white sugar. Then we also have, we need to add a cup of each, the carrot and the zucchini. So the recipe calls for shredded. I have purees. It's gonna be okay because the recipe also calls for buttermilk, and I'm gonna use dairy-free yogurt. So you know, we have the yogurt that's a little bit thicker and the puree that's a little bit thinner, versus what they're using. The buttermilk is a little bit thinner and the shreds are a little bit thicker. So I think it's gonna come together just fine. Okay, so we have the purees in. It's asking for 1.5 cups of buttermilk. I'm gonna use 2 of these plain and unsweetened dairy-free yogurts. Each is 150 grams, so it's about 300 altogether. If a cup is 240, so approximately we have what we need. Okay, we're gonna mix everything together very well, incorporate it, and then we just have a few more ingredients to go, and we'll be putting it in the baking pan shortly. Okay, everything is mixed very nicely. This is a gorgeous gentle orange color. We have the flowers and the dry ingredients incorporated well. Time to mix these up. Okay, so lastly, this recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna use coconut oil just because it can be melted just like butter can be. You could always substitute with regular oil, but I just find that if they're asking for butter, that usually means something that hardens when cooled. So I'm trying to keep the consistency the same. Also a 1/2 cup of walnuts, but I had pecans, so I'm gonna use that. And a zest of an orange and a lemon. Combine all that in our mixture, put it in a baking dish, and bake at 350. Okay, I zested my lemon and my orange. This looks absolutely gorgeous. If I can capture the colors and the smells, it's amazing. Always telling you never to skip the garnishes. Oh, there's my oven preheating. I always tell you never to skip the green garnishes, and this is no different. Never skip the zests. Our coconut oil is melted. I'm gonna add that right in. I'm gonna add these right in. I'm gonna add this amazing stuff right in there as well. Mix it all up, put it in the pan. Here we go, we're ready for the oven. As we mentioned, we've kept it gluten-free, we've kept it dairy-free. Measurements weren't exact. A lot of substitutable items, but nonetheless, I think thus far it's looking great. Let's see how it bakes out. At 350 degrees until it's ready. There we have it. Our zucchini carrot loaf or bread or cake is ready. It looks absolutely amazing. This is again something that you can even have for breakfast or a snack. So it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to make. Try it out for yourselves. Hi guys, we're still on matzah mode. So what we have here is a super duper easy cake. It's a transformation from a real, what we called smetanic. So that's a sour cream cake, but we are using dairy-free yogurt. We have vanilla chamomile here, and we have regular plain one. And if you are gonna try to trick someone and tell them this is dairy, they're totally gonna believe it. It tastes completely regular, and we are gonna transform this into a cake, just layering out simply yogurt and matzah slabs one on top of the other. since I have the plain yogurt, I'm gonna take some jam, some preserves, and put like probably a teaspoon in the plain one, and then I'm gonna do the following layer with the vanilla flavor. Okay, let's do it. Okay, got this in. We're gonna mix it in. Okay, so we got our mixture here. We're gonna coat the matzah, and this looks heavenly already. Okay, so I used about like 3 teaspoons on here. We're gonna put a layer of matzah and continue with the vanilla yogurt. Okay, putting my matzah on top, just like that. And continuing with this one. Spread. Okay, next layer. Okay, next layer. Okay, we got our final layer on. This is the thickness that I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, about 7, about half a box. The best thing to do on top is to shave some chocolate. And then the hardest part, we have to wait. We have to wait for the matzah to become soft and the cake sliceable and delicious. Okay, I'll show you the results. Alrighty, our cake is ready. It is looking delicious, very appetizing. I waited a few hours for everything to come together. For best results, I guess waiting overnight is probably preferred, but it is wonderful. It's gonna be tasty, delicious, and looking great.